Okay, a couple of challenges today. Challenge number 1, we've got Chelsea in the FA Cup, which is a huge game, really, really big game. But it's at home, and we'd have much rather that be away from home so we can get that juicy FA Cup money. So that's not happening. But the even bigger problem is our only good defensive midfielder, as it turns out, was only on a half-season loan, and that loan ends before the Chelsea game. I've got no money to bring anyone else in. That's not ideal. Hi there, how you doing? And welcome to my FM24 save here with the My Career series. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is episode 5 of our first club, which is here at Spennymoor Town. And in today's video, we're going to be playing against Warrington in the league, which has been postponed like 3 times due to a waterlogged pitch. Not our pitch, their pitch. And then we've got the aforementioned Chelsea game at home in the FA Cup, where we're not going to make any money from playing one of the biggest teams in football. Because life hates me. And if you're excited to see how we get on in both of those games, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me, and don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. So, since you were last with us, as it has been before, it's been very well. We have drawn a couple of games here or there, but on the whole, we have been doing very, very well. By the way, I don't know when this video will come out. I'm wearing a Christmas jumper. I'm recording this before Christmas on the build-up to it. This will probably come out around Christmas, so Merry Christmas. I'm gonna say that in this video, and then we'll just address when it comes out whenever. But yeah, as you can see, we've done very, very well in our last few games. The last time we actually already have played Warrington this season. This is the first league game against them, but we are playing them today, and it will be for the first time in the league. So last time we did it, it was in the FA Trophy. We beat them 3-0, so we know we can beat them, but we've been burned by that before. But yeah, so that shouldn't be a problem. The problem is going to be Chelsea, because I imagine they're going to put some form of second string team out, but their second string team is going to be better than our first string anyway. So only thing I can hope is we've got enough about us to get a cheeky draw, and we can get back to Stamford Bridge and we can get some money from that game. That's what I'm hoping for from that one, but I think that's probably hoping for quite a lot. Now, I mentioned beforehand that our only defensive midfielder of any quality is leaving us. I didn't realise Ollie Dyson's only with us until now, today's date, and as a result of that, he's unavailable for the Warrington game, so he's already gone. He's still at the club, but he's not allowed to play, so it is a problem. What's annoying is his wage at his club, which is York, is £850 a week, but we're not paying that. We're paying £210. We're already over our wage budget by £129. Basically, we're going to have 80 quid to try and spend on a replacement, which obviously isn't going to happen. So we're not going to be able to replace him unless we can move on some players. Now, I have got some players on the transfer list. Whether it helps or not, I don't know. As much as I do like Henry Popple as a backup goalkeeper, he's young, he's got potential. He's on £1,000 a week, and I'm just like, we need to get rid of him. We need to get rid of him. That can be used somewhere better than a backup goalkeeper, because I don't think we necessarily need to upgrade our goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper's fine, and he's on much less. So if we can move him on, that would be great. I'd love to get rid of Nathan McGinley's wages, but realistically, he's our best player, so we can't do that. Same with Isaac Fletcher. He's come into his own, and he's young. He's still got room to grow, so we're not going to be losing him, even though he's on high wages. And Ben Bills has been a good defender for us this season as well. So in terms of the high earners at the club, the obvious ones to try and get rid of, Matt Dolan on the transfer list, but currently one of our 3 central midfielders when we play a 2 defensive midfielders, when we play a 2 defensive midfielder system. That's a bit of a problem. So we're going to try and get rid of him in the hope that we can reinvest that money into a couple of midfielders. I'm trying to get rid of Rob Ramshaw because his inconsistency is just a little bit of a killer, and he has dropped a little bit. So if we can move him on, that'd be great. It is going to be a challenge, but 800 quid would go a long way. I've also put JJ Hooper on the bench because, apologies, my door opens. I put JJ Hooper on there because we're not using 2 strikers anymore. We're using 1 striker. So we've already got Will Harris, who's going to be the backup striker and hopefully our future striker for years to come once Glenn Taylor retires or leaves us. So I'm hopeful that that means that we can just get rid of Hooper, and then I've got a few of other players on the list as well. I mean, Bradley James wouldn't leave in this scenario, but he is on the transfer list just in case no one comes in for Popple, so it's a difficult one. None of those players are currently wanted. The only players who got wanted are Michael Ledger, who He's our only good right back, so he's not even a decent right. He's not a good right back. He's a decent right back. I can't lose him really because he's the only one who's doing okay at right back, so I can't really do that. Corey McKeown, I forgot about him as well. He's on the transfer list now. He is actually wanted by Scarborough. I've put him up for free. We've not missed him since he's not been playing for us, so I'm quite happy to let him go for free just to get the wages, and then we can reinvest that into central midfield. That is the priority at the moment, is we need a good central defensive midfielder. Now, the one thing that will be good is when Ollie Dyson goes, we will only have 5 players here on loan, which means we can bring another loan player in, and if we can get a good free loan, then that will help us, obviously. I'm quite happy if Horton Paris leaves. I'm quite happy if... I mean, really, it's just Horton Paris. Degruschi really needs to stay because we don't have another right back. But that would be another player we'd try to sign if we can raise some funds. We are now in the transfer window. I know you can sign players kind of willy-nilly in non-league, but I don't know how it works in terms of actual monetary sales and monetary signings. If it's a free signing or a loan, I know that you can kind of do those whenever, but I don't quite know how it works with actual transfer. So I'm hoping we'll get some movements on some of these guys. We know that McKeown is wanted though, so hopefully he will get out the door. Right, onto the game against Warrington, and this is the 11 that we're going to be using for that game. Just don't focus on the midfield. It's Mitchell in goal, it's Ledger, Yanni, Beals and McGinley in defence, Ross and Tolson in the middle, goodness help us, and it's Lennon, Fletcher and Richard supporting Taylor up front. The tweaks that we made in one of the last games that we played, I can't remember which game was the last ones that we showed on camera. I know one of them was the FA Cup second round. The FA Cup second round to get us to the third round. Whatever tweaks we made there, again, I do this every single time. Every single time I'm playing through a bunch of games off camera, I switch to this because I find it quicker, and I always forget to change it back. Right, there we go. That's more like it. So yeah, I changed some of the tactics on the 4-2-3-1 that we've been using, and it really has made us look a little bit more alive. I expressed the concern at how we were playing and the fact that it feels like we're going to get caught out at some point. A few tactical tweaks. We're playing a little bit slower, playing a tiny little bit more narrow. We're not distributing the ball quite as wildly. It just feels a little bit more controlled from us now, which is good. And we've also seen some of our players start to come into their own. Yanni's becoming a weapon from set pieces, which is great to see. Yeah, it's been really, really good. Lennon has been a bit inconsistent, but he's been good. Fletcher's been good. McGinley's had some good games. Ledger has as well. The chap who we brought in as Ben El Mahani, who his name I keep getting wrong, he's actually had some really good games too. So we have got a roster of talents, but there is kind of some gaps in that roster. We've just won the penalty, by the way. Excellent, I'll take that all day long. We're already 1-0 up, and we've got a penalty. Right, I'm assuming it's going to be Taylor, who's on a bit of a barren run of goals at the moment, so it'd be nice for him to score, and he does score, which is good. He literally, his last 5 games, he's been on a 6.7 average, which is very unlike him with the amount of goals he scored. So it's good to see him get back on the score sheet here, get back amongst the goals. Yes, it's from the penalty spot. I don't really care as long as it goes in, because that will just help him with a little bit of confidence. And hopefully we can have him push on to start scoring the rate of goals that he was in the first half of the season, because Will Harris is not ready, quite frankly. He's not really been, because we were playing with a 2-striker system when he got injured, and now we're with a 1-striker system. He has struggled to get into the team. What a goal that is, by the way, from Charlie Lennon. Great cross from Nathan McGinley, who again is, although he's inconsistent and he doesn't like big games, I can't remember if he's inconsistent. He might just not like big games. He is our best player. Like, when he's in the side, it just feels a little bit more secure, and his flexibility to play at left back and centre back definitely helps. And Lennon managed to cut in there and makes it not even 2-0, it's 3-0 now. I forgot how many goals we've scored. This is a really, really good marker for us to put down. Warrington aren't doing very well. They're near the bottom of the table, but this is a great marker for us to put down before Chelsea. I am not under any illusions of how difficult the Chelsea game is going to be. We're going to get smashed. We absolutely are. But there is a universe out there where we can frustrate them to a draw and get back to Stamford Bridge, and then I don't care if we lose. I'll put a second string team out. I don't care. I just want us to get the money that goes along with a big game, a big FA Cup game against a big team in English football, just to a stadium that holds like 40,000 people. That level of money, that split of the gate is going to be huge for this club. And I do feel a little bit hard done by that the game has robbed us of that and instead put Chelsea in our stadium. Our stadium will sell out. That's the one positive. It will be full of fans, which is great, but it would have been better to be at their stadium and it not sell out because we'd still make more money. Glenn Taylor is in the goals from open play now. It is 4-0 and he has got 2 of them, which is really good to see. That is pretty much game over against Warrington. I think you'll agree. I don't think there's any coming back from them. For them, but it is what it is. We have to still play the rest of the game because you never know what will happen because we could always throw it away. We have had a 4-4 this season, so it's not count our chickens until they actually hatch. But I think that's probably going to be it for half time unless anything crazy happens. Richards has had a really good game today, by the way. Everyone's had a really good game, to be fair. No one's really looked out of place other than Beals. Apparently he's not having a good one. I want to keep half an eye on Yanni because Yanni is showing up as being very tired, so I don't know if he's had a knock. We might substitute him at half time just to be on the safe side because he will be instrumental against Chelsea. We've won another penalty here and Taylor's got a chance at a hat-trick. Here he goes for his hat-trick and he buries it. ASTON cannot stop it. It is 5-0. When we are on it, we are absolutely on it. It's non-league, so you have to take everything with a pinch of salt. But this is not a bad team for this level at all. And we've already played against a couple of National League proper sides, not National League North or South. So we know we can compete with them. So I know that the nucleus of this team is good enough to carry us to that level. Now, having said that, so we haven't really talked about yet his contracts. A lot of these players are only here for the season and we've got no money to reinvest in them. So that's another reason why we need to move players on so we can actually get that going. Right, I do want to take Yanni off. He is injured. So what we'll do is we'll do what we've done before. McGinley goes to centre-back. Move him and Beals around. I forgot to take him off of that. And then we'll take off Yanni for Reece Staunton. And we'll go with that as the change. And we'll leave it at that for now. We don't need to do anything else silly with it. Reece Staunton can come on and get a few minutes. That sounds good to me. And we'll probably take Will Harris and get him on the pitch at some point for Taylor. Taylor's got his hat-trick. He doesn't need to do anything else. I wanted him to get some goals. He's got 3 of them. He's responded to we had a chat with him and he's responded to that chat really, really well. So, match momentum with Warrington at the moment, which is interesting. Although, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. And the longer the game goes, the more that work will be in vain. Right, we are going to make that change now. Taylor off for Harris. And Harris, I think we'll probably... See, this is the problem. The rest of the team is doing really well, but he's kind of regressing. We'll bring him on as a target forward because that is what we used him as before. I'm going to have him as an attack target forward. We usually used him in the 4-2-4 as a target forward on support, but if he's leading the line, he's going to have to attack. So we're just going to have to go with that, and hopefully he just comes good on it. It's a shame because he is a good player, but again, has that horrible inconsistency, that horrible lack of enjoyment of big games. It's the thing that will hamper him at times, but hopefully we can just play him out of the inconsistency, and hopefully the big games thing doesn't become much of an issue. I don't know if you guys have watched my Deportivo save. If you have, then thank you. If you haven't, give it a watch. Bojan Ilic, our captain and left back, was a player who did not like big games, but there were some games that were the biggest of big where he really performed. So that doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be every single time. Sometimes they can just pull a rabbit out of the hat, and when they do, it's glorious to see. Right, I am going to make a final change, and that final change is going to be... I'm going to rest Ben Beals, I'm going to bring on George Cooper, and that will do. That will do. I'm happy with that. I'll be happy with the 5-0 result. I'm not that bothered that we haven't scored in this half. I'm not that bothered they've had more of the ball. We know that this game is all done and dusted, and it gives us a 9-point gap at the top of the table with 2 games in hand. Admittedly, there is a team that also has a game in hand on the team above them, so it could change a little bit, but still, it's a really, really good record to have. Right, it's poor clearance there. Richards now, he's had a really, really good game as a supplier, trying to get the ball back to Staunton, but can't quite do it. They're passing around, but Ross intercepts here. And I don't quite know what happened there. It's not a worldie, but it's from some way out. And Ross, he's heard me moaning about the central midfield, defensive midfield situation, and he's gone and scored a goal from a ridiculous distance here. So Iob clears it, Ross gets it. It's a hell of a way. It's taken a wicked deflection off that defender. Clark, taking a wicked deflection off Clark there. That's very unfortunate for him, very unfortunate for the goalkeeper, but very fortunate for us. And that just makes it even better. 6-0. Clean sheet as well, which we have had a few of, but not loads of. I mean, that is a marker for the rest of the league, really. And the fact that we've done it away from home as well. Again, this game delayed twice because of a waterlogged pitch. You can see it's raining in game. That is a really, really good result. Right, well, I mean, that was the warm-up anyway for the episode. So, we now need to go to the main event. And the main event, of course, is the game against Chelsea. It's a bit of a problem. Again, we're not going to have Ollie Dyson, which is a horrible thing to think about because he has been almost ever present for us because he's been the only midfielder of any quality. He's not even the best midfielder. He's just the best that we have, but we're not going to have him very long. He's a leading player for this league, and we're now losing him. So we then have to rely on the two who started in the last game, who, to be fair to both of them, did their jobs admirably. But Callum Ross is a decent player at this level, and Tolson, I think, is going to be the same as well. Both of them are decent players for the National League North. The fact that they're 2-star and decent players for this level shows just how good the rest of the squad is, especially players like McGinley and Taylor. So that gives us something to be happy about at least. Right, I'm going to go away, and in the 5-day gap, I'm going to rest the players for a day or two. I'm going to look and see if there is anything we can do once that loan finishes. Is there anyone we can bring in who's going to be able to not cost anything and maybe can fill the gap that Ollie Dyson kind of took? If we can bring him back in on loan, it's even better. But I did have a look to see if I could preemptively do it, and they didn't want to even discuss it. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'll put a cheeky offer in, which is for nothing, because they want to get rid of him, apparently. I don't think that's going to fly, and we can't afford his wages anyway. So, yeah, wish me luck. Okay, so there's been no transfer movement whatsoever. It's impossible, basically. So, even though we no longer have 6 players on loan, and also the left back that we had has also been recalled because we weren't using him, which is exactly what we wanted, we still can't loan anyone in because it still recognises that we've had 6 long-term loans. So because we've had them, I don't know whether that's a bug or whether that is how it is, but it doesn't matter how many you have at one time. At the moment, it's recognising that because we've had them, we can't have any more. So we need to rely on permanent transfers. Now, I have got a midfielder on trial, Jake Taylor. He's not very good at big matches. He's injury prone, but he's showing us a potentially 3.5-star to 4-star potential player right now who can play as a defensive midfielder. I have got him here, but we can't afford him. We've only got 80 quid in the bank. I have double checked. It's £83 we've got in the wage budget. I've got no transfer budget to turn over. So we are reliant on selling players in order to make his transfer a reality, as well as others as well. So this is going to be a messy one, but we can't afford to worry about that at the moment. We have got Chelsea in the FA Cup, coming to Brewery Lane, coming to Spennymoor Town, and this is the 11. It's basically like for like the same 11 as the last game. So it's Mitchell in goal, Ledger, Yarney, Beals and McGinley in defence. Ross and Tolson are going to continue in that midfield, and it's going to be Lennon, Fletcher and Richards supporting Taylor. This is not going to go well, but at least this stadium will sell out, if nothing else. Look at the state of them. They're not even rotated. That's the thing as well. They've not even properly rotated. Sanchez is starting. They've still got Fofana. Colwell is starting. They've got Lavia. They've got Sancho, Mudryk, Felix. On their bench has got so many other players who they could have started in this kind of game, and instead they've gone with a relatively strong one. Well, we'll just lift the pressure on them. What will be at this point. Let's just have some fun. We're welcoming a big Premier League team to our tiny stadium. Let's have a bit of fun with it, shall we? Let's just... The one thing is, they're on a shocking run of form. And in the press conference, they did show their team cohesion was at an absolute all-time low. So maybe there's a chance for us to pull a shock while they're down. Or maybe this is the match they need to bounce back and start to recover things. One or the other. I can't imagine we're going to get much of this today, but it is nice to see the stands are completely full from the looks of things. We've intercepted the ball here. Right, Lennon. Can he do anything with the ball? He's kept it here for a little bit. Small victories. He kept the ball for a little bit there before being tackled by Dewsbury Hall. Right. We're just going to try and press their defence and their goalkeeper into making a mistake. I mean, Fofana has got no match sharpness, so I'm hoping he'll make a mistake maybe, and we can just pounce on it. That is what we're reliant on today. Them making mistakes. There's a couple of players as well. Sancho, Felix. They are not necessarily the bravest players, so we are going in hard on them too, just to try and force them into making a mistake. But they're a Premier League team. It's not going to happen, really, is it? Yanni does well. Do you know what? I tell you what, we've done well to defend that there. Yanni with a last-ditch tackle. He just managed to get the ball out of the player's feet. He ended up with Dewsbury Hall? Ended up with someone. It ended up being an opportunity that ended up being wasted. And again, we get lucky from the set piece there. They're having chances, Chelsea, but we are holding them at bay at the moment. Mitchell having a good game so far. We've had a shot, which is, again, a victory. We've actually got 0.05 on the XG board. I'll take that against Chelsea. We've had another shot. We've got some match momentum, lads. It's happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Right, bit of possession here for us, maybe. McGinley goes back to Yanni. Yanni now looking to get forward. He has got a player ahead of him. He actually goes to Lennon. Lennon now biding his time. Big ball over top to Richards. We're in with a chance here, lads. We've gone and scored. Carlos Richards has made it 1-0 against Chelsea. That was not in the script. What a ball that is from Lennon. And Richards finishes it with aplomb. And the Chelsea fans behind that goal all of a sudden are livid. It's onside. It's well onside. And we lead by a goal to 0. Even if we lose this game now, we've had our moment. And I'll take that all day long. I mean, the fact that we're starting from the kickoff is a bit concerning. But, you know, it is what it is. Right, McGinley to Beals. We are right by our defence here. Nothing silly, lads. Nothing silly, lads. Right, Beals looking for Fletcher. Can't get it to Fletcher. Jadon Sancho now on the ball. And we have given Chelsea away. This is the same highlight from the kickoff, by the way. Right, Dewsbury Hall now. He's a handy little player. Looking to find someone creative. Gets it to Cucurella. Into Vega. Vega over to Lavia. And that is 1-1. You can just tell all day long. Highlight from the kickoff. It's never going to be not a goal. It's been disallowed. It's been disallowed, lads. Is the force with us? Goodness me. Right. 27 minutes in. Fletcher's stolen the ball off of them. Chelsea are capitulating here. And Fletcher has the chance. He doesn't make it too. But we do win a corner. What is happening in this game? Richards whips in the corner. Looking for Ross. Can't quite find him. Right. Tolson now. Highlight ends. I'm okay with that. Match momentum on our side at the moment. We are matching Chelsea at the moment, which is nuts. Other than the fact that they're dominating our possession. We're 29% on possession. Getting lower. You would expect that, to be fair, with the quality that they have. But we are currently making the most of what we've got compared to them. Goodness me, what a... Oh my word, their passing is awful. And Glenn Taylor now with a chance. He tried to chip Sanchez. He tried to be clever. It didn't work. And it is half time. And it is 1-0. What? Yeah. What? That was nuts. That was nuts. I mean, Chelsea are in the Premier League. So how many leagues are between us? There's the Championship, League 1, League 2, National League. It's 4 leagues between us. And we're beating them 1-0. I'm just going to say I'm happy with them. I mean, I'm not expecting us to maintain this for another half. But I'm going to enjoy it while we're currently in the middle of it. Right. Second half, we go again. See if we can get a second just to kill the game off, which is ridiculous to say. I imagine what's going to happen is Chelsea are going to get an equaliser that will not be disallowed. But, I mean, they keep making defensive mistakes. They keep giving us opportunities. It's just we lack that little bit of quality to fully take advantage of them. But if they keep doing it, eventually we will be able to take advantage of them. They are still passing around their defence. And there is another defensive mistake. Lennon now going around his man here, looking for options. He's gone for the shot. He's shot it straight to Sanchez again. That's where we lack that quality. We're taking advantage in terms of getting the ball when they make that defensive mistake. They've done it again. Oh my word, and Taylor has the chance and Sanchez has to make the save. They are making mistakes all over the shop and it is a corner. Richards to take. Can he find the head of one of his teammates? Whipping it in, looking for Yanni. Yanni can't get there. Fletcher keeps it alive. It's still in and around the box here. Going to fall to Ledger. Ledger tries to get it through to Richards. He does. Richards into Ross. Looking for Fletcher. Fletcher, he goes out, but it is a free kick for offside. All over them at the moment. All over them. Chelsea in complete disarray. And we have a throw-in in their half. Right, Richards now. Ball comes back to the throw-in taker. McGinley. Tolson. Back to McGinley. Oh my word. McGinley's looking to find space for the cross. He's found it. And Taylor is there. And it's 2-0 to Spennymoor. Spennymoor 2, Chelsea 0. Who needs to play at Stamford Bridge? We've got a 4th round to play. Hopefully. We could still stuff it all up. It was 55 minutes in. There's still a lot of this game left. But Glenn Taylor has given us hope. We've made it 2-0 in what might be the most famous night for Spennymoor Town. I don't know if it's night or day. It's probably day, actually. You get my point. You get my point. This would be the biggest result of this football club's career. Career? That's not the right word. Right, it is now 2-1. Joe Felix has put the ball in the back of the net. It is not going to be disallowed here. I'm content. I'm still content. Perfectly easy goal. You'd expect nothing else, really, to be fair. But Chelsea's still in the same position they were before we scored our goal, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Right, they have won possession back fairly easily there. I imagine this is where things turn around and all of a sudden we're back to getting knocked out by a big Premier League club, although they should be ashamed of themselves it's taken this long. Right, McGinley manages to clear it only as far as Cucurella. The ball is still live with Chelsea here, into Mudryk. Mudryk gets it into Lavia, who, oh my word, Mitchell with the big boy save. It's a big boy save, and it is going to be a corner. Jadon Sancho to take. I'm starting to think about substitutions. What do you do when you're playing against a team like Chelsea in terms of substitutions? What do you actually do? Right, it's a free kick here. Sancho whipping it in, looking for Joe Felix. It's headed out for Fana now. It's highlight ends. Right. What do we do? We're still on top in terms of shots and shots on target. What do we do? We could try and hold on, but I think if you played Football Manager long, and I'm not saying that I'm an expert on Football Manager, I'm definitely not in any way, but if you played Football Manager long enough, you know that if you try and settle for a victory, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. What I think I'm going to capitalise on is that they are kind of insistent on making defensive mistakes. We're going to try and get the ball out wide as much as we can. What does the goalkeeper prefer to do? Is it kick or is it throw? Better at throwing, so we're going to throw it long. And then we'll try and throw it to the flanks. Try and get forward quicker. Tempo's higher. We're going to be more direct. In fact, I'm going to go even more direct. And I'm going to take off Fletcher for Will Harris. And we're actually going to go back in time a little bit. I'm going to have Harris be a target forward on support. We're going to go with that. Does leave a bit of a black hole here. We're not worried about that. We're worried about these sides here. Get the ball to these guys and then just whip it in, boys. Whip it into these two because they're both aerial threats. Well, we can make more substitutions if we want to, but right now I don't feel like it. I don't really want to take Yarni off even though he's having a bad game because in the nicest way, we've got no one better than him. There's no one better than him on the bench, so I think we'll leave it at that. No, do you know what? As good as McGinley's been, I actually think we will make a change. I'm having buyer's remorse on that. McGinley goes into the defence. And we're going to bring on Reece Staunton. McGinley's having a good game. Let's translate that into defence. Ben Bills isn't doing too badly. We'll go with that. And we're just going to try and counter-attack them a little bit here just to see whether we can make the most of the fact that they have been making mistakes. Because if we can catch them with a mistake and just get there and just not worry about messing about with it, we could get lucky here. Right, over the bar there from Chelsea. 67 minutes into the game. Chelsea are on top at the moment. But I just want to see us running up and down. I just want to see us getting some counter-attacks in. The longer the game goes, the more chance we have. just change this, sorry. I know it's a free kick to them. I just want to put him on to ease off tackles. Same with Ledger. I'm tempted to put them on to defend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on to wing back defends. Don't know whether that's going to make a difference. I just want them to hang back a little bit more than they currently are doing. Right. I can't change you, so we're taking a risk with Tolson at the moment, whether he'll get sent off. I will tell him to calm down. I will tell the other two to calm down as well. This is a lot more tense than it should be. Right. Free kick on the edge of the area. Lavia whips it in. Colwell is there. It's past the post. We are getting the gods in our favour at the moment, but will it last? Right, substitutions. Tolson's going to come off for Dolan, which is a risky one because Dolan hasn't really done a lot for us in a long time. Hey, can Ramshaw play as a defence? No, he can't. The annoying thing is we took off Fletcher. Fletcher could play as a defensive midfielder if we needed him to. That is the annoying thing. Right, I am going to bring Dolan on. It is a risk because he hasn't played for us in some time, but we'll bring him on just to hopefully help us secure the game a bit. Charlie Lennon is shattered, so I'm going to bring El Mahani on. We'll swap him and Richards around, and El Mahani can kind of cut inside a little bit and help out. And I'm not going to do anything else, I don't think. There's nothing else we can do that's going to drastically improve the game, I don't think. So we'll go with that. But we know Ben El Mahani can be a match winner for us. So bringing him on is not the worst thing. They've been all over us in this second half. They've gotten better. 8 minutes of stoppage time. We're still 2-1 ahead. We have a highlight. Ball over the top. Chelsea now in possession. And now they have a chance to break our hearts. No, they have a chance to take us back to Stamford Bridge, which actually wouldn't be the worst result in the world. Right, Madueke into Neto. And he puts it wide. He puts it wide. No, he doesn't. It's a save. And the goalkeeper is up for Chelsea. We head it sort of clear. The keeper's running back. If we can nick the ball now, it'd be excellent. Right, Disasi. Back to Fofana. The mistakes have kind of disappeared for Chelsea at the moment. It's another corner. The keeper is up again. And it is an equaliser. And it's Levi Colwill. Right. I'm going to fire the boys up. Try and fire them up a little bit. This is not the end of the world because this gives us the other game, the second leg, which will get us the most money. And we make it. We actually make it. I mean, for a while there, it looked like we were going to be winning the game. For a while there, it looked like we were going to be going through to the fourth round. We're not. It's going to be a third round tie replay. But do you know what? It's going to be at Stamford Bridge. We're going to earn some money. And the effort in that first half and the way we held on in the second half when they were battering us, I'm so proud of this team. I can't believe that we've just done that. I can't believe that we've just done that. And the fact, when you look at the stats, okay, ignore possession, the fact that the XG and the shots are so close. I mean, let's have a quick look at the match stats here. It's kind of nuts, isn't it? Equal shots on target. They only had 5 more shots than we did. The XG is more in their favour, which is absolutely fine, but they did have a goal disallowed. We had to work harder for our goals. We had to capitalise on mistakes. Corners, they didn't have that many more. We did foul them a lot more, and we did injure one of their players, which, you know, it is what it is. We got 3 yellow cards. Passes completed was lower, but it was equal to them for a lot of the game, and then we dropped down a little bit. Absolutely insane. Right, well, we now have a replay against Chelsea to come in a couple of games' time. I'm not going to bring you back for that because it's so close, because I think we know what's going to happen with that. But, I mean, Stamford Bridge, that's, what, 40-odd thousand? 41,000. I mean, that's going to be a payday. That's going to be a payday. We've not got any money yet because, obviously, we haven't played that game. But that is going to be a nice little payday. So what we will do is we'll kind of go through the rest of January. We'll hope we can bring some players in and try and rectify the central midfield situation because although we've had 2 games where they've done okay, I don't really count Chelsea in terms of the match ratings for them because in the nicest way, it was against Chelsea. We'll skip the rest of January and we'll come back somewhere in Feb, maybe around maybe Darlington. Is it Darlington who are our rivals? I can't remember. It is Darlington. We'll come back for a Darlington game. It's only fair that we do. So we'll come back for Darlington and maybe Buxton. We'll come for those 2 games. We'll see where we've ended up in the FA Cup if we manage to pull out an absolute shock against Chelsea. And we'll see if we're still doing okay in the FA Trophy, and we might come back for that as well. I'm going to go for a lie down. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me, and do not forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free and it'll keep you up to date with everything going on the channel and put a big smile on this face right here. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.